God bless you. Whoa, I got a full house. That's a king and no, an ace and 3 kings. No, I'm really blessed because the house is full, and this is now the holiest place on earth. Ta-da! Look around you. Welcome to the temple of God. Well, guess what today's about? What am I going to teach you about? I didn't tell you, so I'm going to tell you now. All right? Being good and blessed. Good and blessed. How many really feel like they are good and blessed? How many have ever felt good and blessed? You ever found good and blessed? Yeah, you're hit. How many have ever blessed somebody? Or done good to people, right? You ever done good? You ever done good? You ever do good? You ever been good? All right. Let's try this. Let's try this again. Okay. How many had a good breakfast this morning? No good breakfasts? Most of you missed breakfast. Well, he raised his hand. Apparently, it was a short meal because he went right. How short was it? Huh? Was it quick? That's why he went quick breakfast. All right. How many ever seen a good movie? What was the movie? I'm sorry? Incredible 2. Okay. All right. That was a good movie. All right. So I'm not going to debate that because there's a problem with good is that everything's what? Because I remember I gave something that when I gave something out, I thought, oh, this is delicious. Here, try it. And the person ate it and threw up. I go, okay, obviously it's not the same. So this person had a different perception of what was good. He gave me what he thought was good, and I got sick. So we had a difference of palate. But when it comes down to good, what is good? Name me something good. Something good. God, okay. All right. How many here? How about, would everybody say God's pretty good? All right. How about Jesus Christ? Would you say he's good? No, Jesus is not good. Well, the Apostle Paul, no. What's good? The apostles, no. Moses was good, no. Right. Now, the reason we got to figure this out is because we got some real challenges here. And we think we know it when we don't. You know what don't means, right? Don't, right? So let's go in the Bible. Let's go into Matthew, and we'll check it out. Chapter 5, verse 43. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Every verse is packed. It's like concentrated. I remember one time I went to when I was a little kid, my mom bought some concentrated grape juice. It was enough to handle 5 gallons. It's a little bottle. And I drank it. And I turned into one of those little puffer fishes with the, you know what I'm talking about? That was like really intense. But anyway, Matthew chapter 5, verse 43. Ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. Right? Now there's your 2 words. There is agape, and what's the other one? What's hate? Pardon? Sam. What'd you say, Eric? Maseo. It's Maseo. In the Hebrew, it's Sene, and the other one is, I'm sorry? Aheb, right. All right, so thou shalt agape thy neighbor and Maseo thy enemy. Now the word hate and love was a translational error, but nonetheless. Verse 44, but I say unto you, agape your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you. All right. Anyone do that lately? Now, if you studied the Roman law, the Roman goddesses like Dionysus and Apollo, that's kind of like how they think. It's like, just love everybody. It'll all work out. But that's not what it's talking about. This is God talking about the true God. All right, so now we have verse 45. That purpose, you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For reason he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you agape them which agape you, what reward have you? Do not even the publicans the same? Not only that, the Democrats too. And if you salute your brethren, well, if you're not in the military, if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Notice he's really he's a really heavy Democrat. And I've had people tell me that Jesus was a Democrat. I thought that was funny. Verse 48, be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is what? Perfect. Now, anyone really understand that verse? I have given you all the pieces from it in the previous teachings, but we're going to work it together. First of all, we know the word love is not love. It's the word what? Agape, right? Now, if you're going to agape those that mess you up and give you a hard time and nail you, hurt you, then agape's got to be like something we got to really understand. And we do when we look at who? Who's a good example of agape? Besides Jesus, who else? David, that's right. David, that's right. He's the king of Israel, okay? Started off 17-year-old kid. How old are you? You're not there yet. How old are you? 12? No, not there yet. Are you there yet? No. You're 20. 12, okay. I was going to say, wow. All right, everybody there with me? You got it? Okay. So let's look at that again. But I say unto you, agape your enemies. All right, so it's talking about agape enemies. Bless them that what? Pierce you. All right, bless me. I'm not your enemy, but bless me anyway. It's English, but is it right? Your first question is, I didn't hear you sneeze, right? Achoo! Oh, bless you, right? No. What are we talking about? Now, let's look at the word blessed, okay? Now, did the person who did the translation, Erroneous, understand what the heck he was doing? No, he didn't. Eusebius Erroneous did not know what he was doing in the 4th century, 364 AD. He didn't know what these words meant. He didn't know the culture, didn't know the language, he didn't live in it, he had never experienced it. So he had to do the translation, which I think is really weird. But anyway, now, love them, okay, bless them that curse you. We got to figure out what blessed means, right? You ready to figure out what blessed is? How many think you already know what blessed is? You understand? Have I taught this before? Yes. Have I taught it more than once? Yes. Do I keep teaching it? Yes. Am I going to teach it again? Yes. Because you're reading the Bible and you're not understanding what it says. You go, oh, that's what Frank says, but I think it's this. Don't pull that Mark chapter 4 stuff on me. God's not going to acknowledge anything you think. Either it's what he says or it's not. Does that make sense? All right. So obviously, that you're supposed to agape thy neighbor, and I say agape your enemies. So here it is. It's expounding on an enemy, what you're supposed to do to him. We got to understand what this thing's all talking about. So we're going to first start off with blessing. What does blessing mean, right? So how do you know if you're being blessed? How do you know if you're being blessed? How about you? Chew, not shoe, chew. You. How do you know if you're being blessed? Anyone here ever been blessed by someone in this room? I see a hand all the way in the back there. Can't see a face, but I see a hand. Oh, all right, thank you. Hi, how are you? All right, so we got one person that feels they've been blessed. I want to know what the word says. Anybody else want to know too? Because now just go around and you know what I was taught blessing was? Now if someone's going to pop you in the face and you're going, is that going to stop it? No, but I did the word anyway. That's not going to work. You don't do that. If someone pulls out a knife, you're going to go, Domino, Nabisco, Oreo cookie. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I don't care how many times you repeat it, as they beat the living tar out of you and keep saying it, it's not going to help. Next time a person goes to rob you, he's going to shoot you and go, hey, bless you, brother. You're toast. Especially if he's an atheist. Okay. This is all making sense. Now, so what happens is we have a lot of people that are dead that are Christians. It's like, how did that happen? We have a lot of people that are in prison that are Christians. Now, how did that happen? We have a lot of people that wound up being fined beyond, because they refused to say anything bad about their accuser. It's like, what? And they got taken advantage of. We got to understand what this thing is talking about. Is that making sense? So the first thing we're going to go to is what is what? Blessing. Because you're going to do this to your enemies. How many here have enemies? I got people who do not like me. I mean, just don't. And that's okay. It's all right. But I'm not going to sit there and tell them how nice they are. You know, I really love you, bro. How many times you punch me out? No, that's not going to work. Is that making sense? It just does not work. All right, so here we go in Matthew. Well, we just read that. Okay. Now, let's find out what blessing means. And lo and behold, blessing is defined. It's defined, which is where you look and you find it, right? Defined in the book of Matthew. I know that's amazing, but it's true. So in Matthew, we're learning about blessing, and Jesus is sitting there with his disciples, and he says unto them, okay, almost there. Okay. All right. Chapter 16 of Matthew. Now, chapter 16, verse 13. You ready? Now you're going to tell me what blessed means. You ready? You ready? Here we go. Matthew chapter 16, verse 13. When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Do they know who Jesus is? No. How long have they been following him? For 16 chapters. They've lived with him. They eat with him. They spend all their time with him. And they don't know who he is. So how many will spend, like 4 or 5 months with someone and not even know who they are? Anybody here? Nobody. They never thought to ask him. Just like, whoa, dude, you just did what? And I'm with you, right? I'm with you. But here's the question. Jesus asked them, right? Whom do men say I, the Son of Man, am? He doesn't tell them who he is. He says, who am I? And they all, at this time, he's got about 120 disciples, and they all look at each other like, what? Who is he? Everybody looks at one another. Who is he? Nobody knows. And they said, well, verse 14, and they said, well, some say thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremiah, one of the prophets. He goes, verse 15. But whom do you say I am? Do they know who Jesus is? No. 16 chapters and do not know who he is. Who do you say I am? Now 120 disciples are going, oh boy. I don't know who he is. And all of a sudden only one says, what? Of all of them, only one says it. Because they had no idea who he is. Oh yeah, he's Jesus, the son of the carpenter from Nazareth. But spiritually, who is he? Who is he? And go, some say, well, who do you say I am? Now, there are things you got to understand about ands. If you were an English teacher and you looked at the way you wrote your papers to your English teacher, and they would sit there and cross out every single and. Because if you look at this, it's ridiculous. Verse 14 starts with an and then verse 16 starts with a what? And verse 17 starts with a what? Verse 18 starts with a what? Right. Verse 19 starts with a what? You see the problem? Your English teacher would tear you up. This would be all, but the Bible is doing this purposely. Every time it's called polysyndeton. You do something, and if I said to you, what'd you do today? What'd you do today? Well, I got up in the morning, and I ate breakfast, and I cleaned up the dishes, and you know what I'm saying? There's time. You didn't all this happen in 10 seconds. There's what? There's time. All right, so here we go. Verse 16. And Simon Peter answered and said, everybody say it? What does it say? What does it say? Thou art the what? The son of the what? What does it say? Right. What does it say? Did anybody know that? Nobody knew it. Watch. Verse 7. I missed you. What did it say? All right. Now here we go. For flesh and blood. All right. Jesus answered and said, blessed art what? Thou. Now we're going to find out what the definition of blessed is. You ready? Here it is. Jesus answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Barona, for. What does for tell you? Right. For flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto you. All right? Close your eyes. Right? Are you flesh and blood? Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. Close your eyes. Okay. How many fingers am I showing? All right. Now reveal it to him. Tell him. How did you know? Well, flesh and blood revealed it to you. Got it? So if I ask you a question and you don't know the answer, but someone else tells you, flesh and blood what? Revealed it to you. Cool, huh? But how about when you know something and flesh and blood didn't reveal it to you? Now what's that? Did you hear what he said? Ready, 1, 2, 3. Say it again. Wow! And the crowd goes wild. You understand? So not only can someone tell it to you, some of you can figure it out yourself, but all of a sudden it just goes ding. Well, it doesn't go ding. I mean, it appears, right? You just get it. Like, I know who you are. That cool? That cool? If you don't get it and you're going like, I don't understand, then are you blessed? No. Blessed is to get what? From God. So concerning your enemies, what are you supposed to do? How do you bless them? All right. So understand, all right, someone's coming up there. They got 3 guys around you. One's got a crowbar. The other one's got a chain. The other one's got a screwdriver. And they're coming around, they're surrounding you. What do you need? What do you need? And if you speak as God shows it to you, now you can do it. You'll say it and they're going to go, wow. Isn't that cool? If you don't get revelation, what's happening? Your heart's going like this. Really. You're not going to get revelation like that. You got to be cool. You got to be relaxed. You got to stay focused. Right? So, flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto you, but my Father which art what? So that's what it means to be what? All right. Now let's go back to Matthew. Because we're supposed to... Pardon? We're in Matthew. Yeah, Frank. Where you been? All right. Chapter 5, verse 44. But I say unto you, Love your enemies. Come here, give me a kiss. No, that's not what he's talking about. Bless them that what? All right. So agape means to have God's what? Thoughts, images, and what? Priority in your heart, your soul, and your mind. All right? So bless them. How do you bless? Well, if your heart, your soul, and your mind are aligned with God, do you think God might give you some information concerning the situation? Yeah. And that's called, when God does that, what's it called? Ta-da! It's not someone walking around with a funny hat, his collar backward going, Domino, Nabisco, Oreo cookie. That's not blessing. Okay. All right, so now we understand. So let's look at an example of this. But let's go to the second part. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them. That what? That hate you. Oh, if someone hates you, how do you do good to them? So what does it mean to do good to somebody? I brought you some chocolates. No. That's not what it's talking about. Have I taught this before? Yes. Has anyone been listening? That's the question. This is all like really important the next time you get into trouble. Of course, you never get into trouble anymore, right? Never have any people that don't like you. I mean, for you adults, you're coming in there, your boss is about ready to explode. It looks like a pimple. It's already white-headed. And he's like, argh! Would it help if you had some revelation you could tell him? No one has an experience with a really upset, angry boss. Right? Okay, anyway. So here we go. Agape your enemies. Bless them. We know that you don't do anything except to change your heart, your mind, and your soul to align with who? And when God gives it to you to say, that's what you say. Blessed art thou, Peter. Well, if you're going to bless them, you need to speak by what? You got to give them revelation, because they're not in a state to hear it. You got to get it from God and give it to them. Doing good. All right. How many here know what good is? I already asked you this question, didn't I? I have a question. Ryan, is your mom good? Does she make good food? Did she wash your clothes good? Is she a good housekeeper? What's the problem? Is he being rude and cruel, or is he being truthful? Has nothing to do with it. All right, so let's ask his mother. Is he a good son? Is he good to you? Soon we'll have a war going on over here. No, they're both right. You've never seen a good movie. You've never had a good friend. Maybe since recently you may have. Anything you tell me you use good, what does it mean? Because you got to know what these words mean. So let's go into, and just to show you this, chapter 19 of Matthew. We're going to stay in the book as much as possible. Chapter 19. Verse 16. Ready? And behold. What does that mean, behold? Why did Jesus walk around going, behold, behold? It means open your mental eye. Pay attention. Not just have your eyes open. Have your mental eye open. Have your mental eye open. How many times have you been in school, teachers going, nah, 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 and you're going, I mean, you're looking at a teacher, but what's happening between your ears is like way out doing something totally different. Yes or no? You ever do that too? Yeah. Anyone ever do that? Raise your hand if you ever do that. Yep, it's part of being human. All right. So behold means open up your mental eye. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. You ready? One came in and said unto him, good master. They called Jesus what? Know what it says? Chapter 19, verse 16. What good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And Jesus said unto him, Why do you call me good? There is none good but what? And that is who? I. And if someone says, why can't you be good? You can't be good. You can't be good. Yes or no? You can't. Can you be good? No, you can't. You can't be God. Sorry, it's not available. Can you be good? Is there any husband here that can be good? Then tell your wife, get off my case. There's no way I'm going to be good. Any wives here? All right, or girlfriends. If you ever have someone get on your case, say, hey. They go, what's wrong with you? You're always blowing it. Why can't you be good? You can't be good. It's impossible. You know what impossible is, right? Can you be good? Can you be good? Can you be good? Can you be good? Can I be good? No. Is Jesus good? No. Is Paul good? No. Moses good? No. Were they perfect? Yes. Now that's where it gets intense. Let's find out what God is. Okay. Put your finger here. We're going to come back. And let's go into Genesis. How many of you have been around kids, you tell them to do a job, and they go, all done. And I go, is it good? And they go, yeah, I did a good job. And you go in there like, no, that is totally messed up. Right? You ever seen people do that? The more you time around, spend around kids, mini purple, rugrats, curtain climbers, carpet commanders, you realize whatever you tell them, they don't hear what you say, they interpret what you say, and when you're telling them to do something, they're kind of not going to do what you say. They're just going to do what they think is right. Of course, that changes when you get to be a teenager. No, don't. Well, it changes when you get to be 20. No, I don't. It changes when you finally make 30. No, don't. It never changes. This is the problem. Right, so now let's go to Genesis. Well, that's good enough. No. Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. Now, I happen to have a magic stick. It's called a ruler. Can you hear my voice on there? Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a magic question. I want you to give me 7 inches with your fingers. Just on the inside, 7 inches. Right? Okay. Stick them out. Okay. Look at it. Is that about 7 inches? Is that a good 7 inches? Yes or no? Okay. Let's measure it. No, that's a good foot. Okay. You ready? Give me 6 inches. Is that a good 6 inches? Are you sure it's good? Ah, close your eyes. We're going to check it out. Got it? 6.5. Everybody, 1, 2, 3. Ooh. All right, now give me 9. That 9? That's where we put it to the test. Oh, 8.5. Whatever you think, just add another 1/2 inch. Was she good? No. Better than him, yeah, but good, no. Does everybody understand? Who is the one that judges? Senior ruler. Senior ruler. There was a big problem when they were building a bridge one time. They built one side on metric and the other one on English pounds, English foot. So this one was so many feet, this one was so many meters. And when they came together, they were like totally, they would not fit. What happened? Remember that big satellite that crashed? Well, that was that joint venture between Europe and America? Half the satellite was in inches, the other side of the other part of the satellite was in metrics. And I don't know how they put it together, but they put it together and it crashed. Two people using different types of what? What if nobody has no rulers? Now what do you got?
No good things.
You need something good, the standard. Does that make sense? I remember when I was a kid, I used to have a nun come up there and go over there in the corner and pray. I come back, and after 10 minutes, all of a sudden, oops. I broke it. Okay. But she would do that. Then finally, she smacked me upside my hands. She smacked my hands and stuff. I don't know if you ever grew up in Catholic school. Anyone go here to Catholic school? Yeah, you know a short time? Yeah, okay. Anyway. So, we are to bless them that curse you. Do what? Good to them. Now we're going into Genesis to find out what's good. So who's the judge of what's good and what's not? Who judges what's good and what's not? He sees you when you're sleeping. No, that's Santa Claus. That's not God. Okay. He knows if you've been bad or good. No, he doesn't know nothing. All right. God knows. All right, here we go. So, verse 3, and God said, let there be what? And there was light. And God saw. The word saw should be examined it. God don't got eyes. He examined it. He said it. Now he's got to check it to make sure it's done right. He examined the light. And what was the result? It was what? Good. If you tell your kids to do something and they come back and you do it, yeah, did you do it good? They go, yep. Who's the judge of that? You're the one who told them. You need to go out and check and see, did they really use soap when they washed their hands? Did they really put all their stuff in the closet and fold their clothes, or they just threw them in the drawer? Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Kids always sit down and fold their clothes, right? No, they don't. They stuff them underneath the bed and then put a sheet over it. I know, I used to be a kid. All right, anyway. So, what does it mean to do good? Back to Matthew chapter 5. What does it say? Love, agape your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Still talking about the same people. Do that which is good. What's good? Fulfilling God's what? Word. The way God wants it done. Doing it the way God wants it done. And pray for them, okay, that would despitefully use you and persecute you. All right, now, there has to be an example of someone what? Doing this. So let's go into Samuel. We're going to check it out. And in Samuel. All right, chapter 24, 1 Samuel. You all ready for this? All right, number one. If you have an enemy, you don't see them from your perspective. You see them from whose perspective? God's. Number two, you bless them. What does that mean? You speak God's what? As God gives you utterance. And you practice it by speaking in tongues, interpreting, and prophesying. You practice lining with God so when time comes you can do it. And the third thing is you pray for them, right? So here we go. David is the perfect example. He's going to do all three right in front of you. Ready? Chapter 24, verse 1. And it came to pass when Saul, who's Saul? He's the king. His son took a blood covenant with who? David. That was Jonathan, took a blood covenant with David. Now Saul's concerned that David may take the kingdom. So he decides, you know what? I'm just going to kill David. Now, if someone just decided to kill you, how would you feel? Wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't the king of the realm says, okay, I'm going to take you out. So Saul was returning from following the Philistines that was told him, behold, David is in the wilderness of Gingadi. I wouldn't tell anybody I was in Gingadi. All right, verse 2. Then Saul took how many? 3,000. These are chosen men, like Marines, UDT SEALs, Delta Force type guys, out of Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats. And he came to the sheep goats, by the way, where there was a cave. They're looking for David to do what? What are they going to do to him? Kill him. Now, who was the first one anointed by God to be king? And what did Saul do? Did he do? Oh, did he do what he was supposed to do? The answer is what? No. He did everything the opposite of what God said. So God says, that's it. I'm getting a new king. And he chose a 17-year-old kid. He looked kind of like you, except he had longer hair. He didn't wear shorts. Sandals, yeah, but not shorts. I'm just giving you a hard time. That's pretty young. So David became anointed of God, so you're taking the place of King Saul. And he said, okay. Now the problem is Saul began to hate David more and more, and finally he goes, I'm going to kill him. And this is where it is. So David, he knows where David is. He's gone to go check David. But as a king, he always, before he goes on a trip, you ever go on a trip? What is the first thing you do before you leave? Pack everything up. What do? Get something to eat, right? Well, now if you're riding on a horse over a long distance, what happens as your stomach gets shaken up? You start to hear that going, right? Well, anyway, he stops the man. He goes, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. They don't call them bathrooms because you're not bathing there. He's going to he's going to do something. All right, everybody know what he's going to do? You know what he's going to do, right? All right, his stomach is full. He ate several hours earlier, and now he has to what? I'm sorry? Paul. All right. All right, here's the problem, right? People say, the Bible is not realistic. It's so realistic, it gets really intense and detailed. Translators are like, the translators are going, that can't be what it's saying. Yes, it is. It's exactly what it's saying. We're going to change those words. No, all right, whatever. You ever heard that phrase, caught with your pants down? You heard that phrase? Ah, he was caught with his pants down. You ever wonder what that means? Well, I'm about to show you what that phrase means. Anyway, so Saul is about to lose about, 6 pounds really quick. And he gets off his camel or his horse, and there's a little cave there, and you want to do that in front of your men, right? So you want to kind of like get out of their sight, so he goes into, from bright sunlight, blinding sunlight, he goes into the cave. And he's got to go really bad. So he just goes over to the middle of the cave and starts tooting. Okay. You know what I'm talking about, tooting, right? All right, do I have to go into any more detail? All right, he's tooting, all right? I'm just telling you what it's writing here. You can make it as pretty as you want, if you want to, but here we go. Verse 3, and he came to the sheep goats by the way, and Saul went in to cover his feet. Cover his what? What is he covering him with? Whatever he's wearing, they're going to be around his what? And not on his body. Just helping you understand what's going on. Huh? He's squatting, right. That's exactly what he's doing. He's squatting. Right? There's no 7-Elevens. There's no bathrooms. None of that stuff. Okay? No, there's no 7-Elevens. And David and his men remained in the sides of the what? Whoa, wait a minute. All of David's men are on the side of the what? There is David's enemy. Here he is the general trying to kill David and all his men. And there's the general, the head, the king, Saul. There, they caught him with his what? Pants down. And he's just, He's just tooting. And David's sitting there going, of course he can't see because he just came in from what? Bright sun. Now he goes in the dark. They can see him, but he can't see them. Now, if someone's trying to kill you, has been trying to kill you for several years, and there he is, you got him with his pants down, what do? Pardon? Try and kill him because he's trying to kill you. Isn't that the common sense? What would you do? Huh? Kill him. He's been trying to kill you for the last years. What would you do? Kill him, yeah. Boy, everybody, don't piss these guys off. What would you do? Huh? Boy, these kids are really, do not piss these kids off, okay? All right. Now, what did I tell you that Jesus says to do? You need to do exactly what who says to do? God does. Ooh. Isn't that weird? Where's God? Do you think he'd answer if you asked him? Where's God? Do you think God would answer if you asked him? Where's God? Do you think he would answer if you asked him? God won't respond unless you ask him. Okay, here we go. So, and it came to, okay, and David and his men remained on the sides of the cave. Verse 4, and the men of David said unto him, behold, the day in which the Lord said unto thee, behold, I will make thy enemy, and I will deliver thy enemy into thy hand, that thou mightst do unto him as seemeth good unto thee. Right. So David took out his sword. He got closer and closer to Saul. And Saul's rooting and tooting. He gets over there. And he cuts his robe. That's it. Just cuts his robe. And goes back against the wall. That's his enemy. What's going on here? David is walking by what? It's not kill him or not kill him. Just do what God what? And God told David, cut his mantle. Just cut it. Verse 5, and it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him because he cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my what? Master. The Lord's what? Who did God anoint before David? Saul. So Saul was anointed what? First. To stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is the Lord's what? All right. Now we're seeing, does he have agape? Yes or no? He has agape. He's seeing Saul from whose perspective? God's. Now, what is it? It says to what? Bless them. Now let's see what David does next. Verse 7, so David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them, allowed them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave, and went on his way. Verse 8, David also rose afterward and went out of the cave, and cried after Saul, saying, my lord the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth, bowed his head to the ground, bowed himself. And David said to Saul, wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, behold, David seeketh thy hurt. Behold, this day thy eyes have seen how the Lord hath delivered thee today into my hand in the cave, and some bid me kill thee. But my eye spared thee, and I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord. For he is the Lord's what? Did David do good? Did David see Saul from God's perspective? Verse 11, moreover, my father, see, you see the skirt of thy robe in my hand? For in that I cut thy skirt of thy robe and killed thee not, know that thou and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand. And I have not sinned against thee, yet thou huntest my soul to take it. The Lord judge between me and thee, and the Lord avenge me of thee, but my hand shall not be upon thee. That is prosuche. In our culture, we want to tell God what to do. We go to God and say, okay, here's my heart, here's my soul, here's my mind. Now, what do I do concerning Saul? And that's what God did. My hand will not be what? So those are your 3 points. This is what David did. You ever get mad at your mom? So what do you say to her? Ah! No, that's not a good thing. You need to get quiet and ask who? What can you say to your mom? What should you do? You think God would tell you? How about you? Think God would tell you? Can you see your parents as being anointed of God too? Wow. Wow. You know what the hardest one to see is anointed of God? Is your parents, your spouse, and your children. Those are the hardest things to see that are anointed of God. Yeah, brothers and sisters too. That's good. That's true. Did David see Saul from God's perspective? So how many times did Saul try and kill David? First it was a javelin. Boom! I'm going on vacation. Then he hunted him. He tried to shoot him. He tried to kill him. He sent armies after him for several years. And finally this happened. And David's looking at his enemy who's been killing everybody else and now wants to kill David and his men. And there Saul is, caught with his pants down. And what did David do? Cut off a little bit, waited. He went out. He jumps out and goes, my Lord the King, anointed of God. Look, I didn't kill you. I could have, but I didn't. So, David says, verse 12, the Lord judge between me and thee, and the Lord avenge me of thee, but my hand shall not be upon thee. As such, the proverb of the ancients, he's speaking what exactly? Wickedness proceeded from the wicked, but my hand shall not be upon thee. After whom does the king of Israel come out? After whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog, after a flea. The Lord therefore judge between me and thee, and see and plead my cause, and deliver me out of thy hand. And it came to pass when David had made an end of speaking these words unto Saul, Saul said, is this the voice of my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice and what? Cried. He cried. And he said to David, thou art more righteous than I. For thou hast rewarded me good. Thou hast rewarded me what? Good. Whereas I have rewarded thee what? Evil. Is there any other way for Saul to capitulate like that? How would you get Saul to have that feeling toward David? What could you have done? You couldn't have done anything except exactly what God what? He's sitting there saying, and he's crying, he goes, I am so sorry. Verse 18, and thou hast showed this day that thou hast dealt well with me. That's the word good again. For as much as the Lord hath delivered me into thy hand, thou killest me not. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? Wherefore the Lord reward thee good, for this day has done unto me this day. And behold, now I know that thou shalt surely be king, and the kingdom of Israel shall be established in thy hand. He actually said, I cannot stay a king. You are a better king than me. Could he have beaten Saul into that admission? Could he held the sword to his throat saying, all right, now admit I'm the new king? You can use your intellect, but it's better to use the what? Right? Everybody got that? Okay, so back to Matthew. Is this making sense? Everybody confused? Everybody got it? All right, are you ready? Here we go. Matthew chapter 5, verse 43. Ye have heard that it should be said, thou shalt agape thy neighbor and hate thy what? No. Most of the time, your enemies, people who don't care about you, they don't have any emotional feelings to you. Walk down the street and we'll grab a guy. Guys, do you hate me? You'll go, no, I don't even know who you are. The only ones that bother you, that upset you, are the ones you love the what? Most. If you disappeared for 3 days, would there be a problem with your parents and you? Yeah, they'd be like really concerned. If you disappeared for 4 days, would there be a problem? Would it be a problem with people who didn't know about you? Would it be a problem with people who didn't care about you? The only ones who would be upset were the people that what? That you meant something to. Isn't that weird? If you disappear for 6 days, you think your teacher's all concerned? No. Your classmates are concerned? No. Is your parents concerned? Why should they be concerned? Well, let's reverse it. If your parents just disappeared for 5 days, would that bother you? I'm not going to call you. I'm just going to disappear for a couple days. Wouldn't that bug you? So this is where you got to see people from whose perspective. They may upset you. You may want to strangle them. I'll minister to them later. No. Just do what God says. Don't let your emotions take charge. Did David have justification to kill Saul? Could he have killed him? Did he want to kill him? But he stopped and he went, no, he's ordained of who? He's anointed of God. I cannot do this. Is that making sense? We have a tendency to forget. All right. Now the question comes. But I say unto you, agape your enemies. Put on God's images, God's priority, and see them. Bless them. Receive revelation about them that curse you. And then do exactly what God tells you to do, and no less and no more. And then pray. You go to God and ask Him, did I get it right? That's prosuche. You're going to God for doctrine, reproof, and what? What does God give? Doctrine, reproof, and what? He is not the Greek and Roman gods. You can't play that game with Him. All right, everybody got it? Okay. Now, that's your daughter, right? Okay, look at her. Okay, what do you see? Look at your mom. What do you see? I'm sorry? I don't know. Did she look familiar? Oh, okay. I just thought I'd just check in. All right. So now, let's go into Mark. Chapter 3. Verse 31. Then came his brethren and his mother, and standing without said unto him, calling him. And the multitude sat about him when they said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren without seek for thee. We're now in verse 33 of chapter 3, Mark. And he answered them, saying, Who is my mother or my brethren? And he looked around about on them which sat about him, and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall what? Do. What's to do? That's when you do what? You bless. That's when you pray for them. That's when you do good to them. You're doing, you don't modify it, you don't do more, you don't do less, you do exactly what God says. That's doing good. The same as my brother, my sister, and mother. Wow. Are you Jesus' sister? You don't look like his mother. All right. You're a sister, right? Are you Jesus' sister? No, brother, I mean, brother, right? All right. You're his sister, right? And you, I'm not sure about. No, you're Jesus' what? Okay, here we go. If you've done it to the least of my disciples, you've done it unto me. There was God in Jesus. Is God in Jesus? Was God in Jesus? Yes or no? Right, okay. So God is God in Jesus. Right, right? Is God in you? Is God in you? Is God in you? Is God in you? Is God in everybody here? Can you see it? Look at your mom. Do you see God in there? No. You can't see it with these eyes. You have to see it with this eye. Got it? I say apple. Can you see it? Banana. Can you see it? Pineapple. Can you see it? You're not using these eyes. So you can only see the sons of God with what? This eye. Got it? Now, can you see the glory? Can you imagine Jesus in his glory, right? Okay. Now, close your eyes. Can you see Jesus in your glory? All the beautiful glory of Jesus, right? Right. Now, look at it, that and see the picture of your mom. That freaks you out. You're like, no, yeah. You see how that works? Now you got to do the same thing for her. Got it? Now look at her. You see how that works? You have to see things. Did David see wonderful things in Saul? No, Saul tried to kill him. Saul wanted to kill him. It's like, but he had to see him, not with these eyes, because you're not going to see it with these eyes. You're going to see it with the what? The mind's eye. Banana. Apple. Apple. Pineapple. I don't know why it's called a pineapple. It's bigger. But anyway, isn't that cool? Now, so here we go. 1 John. Oh, I'll start with 1 Corinthians. I got to bring these home. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. So here's Paul's asking, guess what? Corinthians, the whole church, everybody in Corinthian church had forgotten that God was in them. So Paul asked them, chapter 3, verse 16, know ye not that ye are the temple of what? And the Spirit of God dwelleth what? Where's God? Not in your mom, huh? Only in you. Is it in her too? Oh, are you sure? Okay. Where's God? Is it in your mom and dad too? Are you sure? Okay. Where's God? Is it in your parents too? Okay. You all right? Okay, cool. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwelleth where? Wow, that's pretty hot. That's pretty hot. Okay, 1 John. Epistle of 1 John. All right, ready? Can you bless me? Bless me. Can you bless me? Did David bless Saul? Yes, he did. He spoke that which God said. He spoke the truth. That he was anointed of who? Did Saul forget that? Yep. Did he call Saul my father, which is only available through a blood what? Covenant. He helped remind Saul of his blood covenant. And he cut off that piece, and he did what? Good. Because that's exactly what God told him to do. Then he said, wow, did I do something wrong? I don't know if I did that right. Then he showed it to Saul. I could have killed you and did not. And Saul was like, oh my God, where have I been? What's wrong with me? All right. So does that make sense? So your parents have the Spirit of God in them? Can you see it with your eyes? No. You got to see it where? got it. I say banana, can you see it? I say apple, can you see it? Right. So next time you're in trouble, next time you're going and you're trying to think of what you should say, don't say anything. Just let go to God, and let Him tell you what to say. I know, I'll tell my mom this. Don't do that. Because God can tell them you're lying. They have access to God too. So you kind of like have to be honest here. Is that making sense? Isn't that cool? It's hard to believe, huh? No! The Bible says yes. All right, let's go to 1 John. 1 John. It's right before 2 John, which is right before 3 John. All the way in the back. We're going to 1 John. So, you ready for the big question? Ready? Chapter 4, verse 4. Everybody ready? This is the test. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. Who's the He? Who's He that's in you? I'm sorry? Yeah. Who's He that's in you? Is He greater than anything in the world? I'm going to read it again. You tell me what it's talking about, okay? Ye are of God, little children, have overcome them, because greater is He that is what? In you than he that is in the what? Well, who's He that's in you? 1, 2, 3. Ah. It's amazing how people have a hard time with this. Wait a minute. The only one to have God in Him was Jesus, who was God's Son. He had the right to call God what? Are you telling me you have the right to call God Father? You have the right to call God Father? You can call God Father? Okay, chapter 3. Ready? Verse 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called, this is God's terminology, this is what God calls you, the sons of what? So when you go to school, do the teachers go, and the Son of God on and table 2? No. Does the teachers ever acknowledge you as being sons of God? Why not? Are they operating with this, or are they operating with this? Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the what? Sons of God. You are a what? Is God your Father? Then you are His child, yes or no? All right. Are you a son of God? That's a title, like policeman, surgeon. You can be either a male or a female. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. It's beyond our comprehension. But we know that when He, Jesus, shall appear, we shall be like Him. For everything He is, so are what? Wow. For we shall see Him as He is. You ready for this? So you and Jesus are what? I'm sorry? And God is Jesus' Father, and God is what? Wow, you got 2 fathers. Do you have 2 fathers? Yeah. Guess how many I got? 2. Okay, you got it? Now, originally I only had 1, but then I gained, right? Because that part of Mr. Tulak is in me, part of God now is what? In me. When you were born, you just had a part of your mom and your dad, right? But then you got the Spirit of God. Now you have 2 dads. Verse 2, beloved, what? Now. How about tomorrow? Now. All right, do me a favor. I want you to bless him. In order to bless him, you got to see him from whose perspective? He's my dumb brother. What do you mean? No, no. Right. Now, with that as a reality and God being in you, now you got to say you're going to speak. And look at him. Is he more valuable than David? Is he more valuable than David? Yeah. He's God's child, just like you. Wow. Now bless him. That's right. You are a son. Isn't that what Peter said to Jesus? Yes. But you got to see it first, right? See it as real. See yourself as real. Now, as you go to speak it, God will be there to direct you to say it the best way so it really makes the impact. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand how this works? You've got to see yourself from who's what? God's perspective. All right. So we're going to memorize this verse. Which verse? Ye are of what? God. All right? All right, so here we go. All right, here we go all together. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. That's pretty intense. Ready? Why doesn't it say you? Because you don't address a person who holds authority and power in the you form. You approach the bench with the judge, you say, Your Honor. When the president speaks about himself, he says we. He doesn't say I. I means independent of authority and power. With authority and power, you say what? We. We, the court of San Diego, find the defendant guilty. We, the police, tell you to open your door. Who are you? Well, my name is John Schmidlapp, and I work for 8 hours. No. Open up in the name of the what? The law of the state of California. That's the sheriff's department. Do you understand the problem? When you're speaking with authority and power, you speak in the what? We. So if you're speaking in the we, I have to address you in the what? Ye. Isn't that weird? That's true. Since we've all no longer do that anymore, but in the Bible it's very true. If the president is in front of you, the president of the United States, or senators or congressmen, what do you say? Pardon? Y'all? No. You say yes sir, no sir, whatever, right? You show respect. You have to. But we don't use that as much anymore. Yet when you read every legal paper today, they still have ye and thou and thy. So you and you, they're there. But each one has a meaning. All right? So if you're just your first name is Paul. So if you're just going to say, hi, I'm Paul, all right, then I would not address you. I would say, oh, you are Paul. But if you say, we are a son of God, then I have to say, yes, ye are. Because you're of higher what? Higher what? Pardon? Yeah. And that reality is greater authority and power. If God tells you to stop the wind, can you stop the wind? Yeah. If there's a fire and God commands you to put it out, what does that mean? Put it out. If someone's trying to hurt you and you do exactly what God says, what will they do? They'll probably fall down and cry, just like Saul did. Does it work? Yes. It works very well. Don't need any weapons. So, if David had did what you were going to do and kill Saul, would that have worked? If he did what David had done what you said and killed Saul, would it have worked? But as Saul was dying, he would have said, yes, you're the one taking my place. No, he said, my sons will kill you. Because now I know you can't be of God. See the difference? Right. Let's go into Matthew. Now, if you were David, would you have killed Saul? Not now, huh? Right. Would you have killed Saul? No, you know better now, right? Back to Matthew. But in the movies, it doesn't work like that. Those are movies. They're not real. And when you try and make it real, it kind of messes everything up. All right, chapter 5, verse 44. But I say unto you, agape your what? Enemies. Bless them. See, you are blessing them. You give them the revelation of what God says they are. David spoke to him as being the anointed of who? If you're mad at me and you like really want to punch me, I said, no problem, you can punch me. But first you got to know that you are a what? Son of God. And you're accountable to God for whatever you do. Does that make sense? Then God's going to tell me what to do next, whether I should duck or if I should punch you first. But I do God's word, right? I get you to understand God's word. I get you to understand who you're talking to, who you are. Does that make sense? Now, Goliath was different, was he not? Did David walk up and say, well, you are the anointed? No, he says, I'm taking your head from you. You're going to be like 3 feet shorter, right? You're going to lose about 150 pounds. Is that making sense? Why? Because he was not an enemy like that's talking about. He's talking about when people, he was nothing. How many here are ordained of God? How many here have the Spirit of God in them? Raise your hand. How often do you remember it? You need to remember it what? All the time. That's right. All right, here in chapter 5. Love your enemies. That's agape. See them from God's perspective. Bless them. You speak that which they have forgotten, that they don't know anymore. Do good. Do exactly what God says to do. Don't add more to it, not less. And pray for them, which pray is prosuche. You don't hold back. You speak from God, with God, and to them with all your heart, all your soul, all your what? Mind. Not part. Don't fake it. Don't pretend. No acting. Verse 45. That you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. What did Saul say of David? That he was definitely God. He was more righteous. For he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and on the what? Is the sun a good thing or a bad thing? When persecution arises for the word's sake. Persecution, mental pressure. The sun represents mental pressure. You're in the desert area. Is the sun a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, it'll cook you. And rain. Is rain a good thing or a bad thing? Good thing. Because it only rains a few hours a year, which when it does rain, you want to catch it. How are you going to grow crops? What are you going to drink? Does that make sense? So in this passage, in the word, sun is what? Bad, and rain is what? Good. Verse 48. Be therefore perfect. Can you be good? No, only God's good. But can you be what? Be ye perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is what? So, who the heck's been teaching you the word right now? Who's teaching the word? A son of God. 1 John chapter 3, verse 2. Beloved, now, when? Tomorrow? Beloved, what? Now are we the sons of God. 1 John chapter 3, verse 2. And it doth not yet appear what we shall, but we know that when he, Jesus, shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see, perceive, understand, and know him as he is. Verse 3. And every man or woman that hath this hope in him, that's the word alpis, which means a greater reality than normal, purifieth himself, even as he is what? Wow. You are all what?
Sons of God.
That's right. Father, I thank you for helping me to teach your word and for the greatness of each person's life. that they don't know, but it becomes their reality. A greater reality than being a male or female or what language or culture, but to be known as your child. For they to manifest your presence within them, to glorify you, just as your firstborn, our risen and returned Lord Jesus, your anointed. Okay, was that exciting?